Hey everybody, clearing. This is going to be a Divine Masculine check-in. We're just going to see where's the DM at. So first off though, what do the feminines need to know at this time? Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What do the Divine Feminines need to keep in mind in order to receive the messages in this reading in the highest? Honesty. Okay. So before I even look at the meaning on this card, the written, I'm really getting, trust your intuition, feminines. This is a journey of learning how to master first person, not going through tarot readers, not going to others, but going straight to source in your own right to know your truth. Doesn't matter what a tarot reader says, doesn't matter what friends and family say. It matters what you believe and what you know. And that sometimes is contradictory a few different ways. It's up to you to be very honest and come into authenticity. No game playing, no wishy-washy, no skepticism. This is your refining process to bring you into your alignment with your truth. Sometimes that's convenient, sometimes it's not. This is about getting out of your own way and really being grounded, realistic, practical, embodied. But this says honesty. The energy of honesty supports our choice to be courageously truthful and genuine with kindness and tact. With self and others, feminines. Okay, so let's look at what we can for where the masculines are at. So honesty is in the energy. So that does mean that as you're becoming more and more honest, feminines, that your masculine is also becoming honest. More honest about this connection, more honest about the love, more honest about why they haven't come forward fully yet, more honest in their life. Honesty brings us true to authenticity. And authenticity doesn't always mean ascended viewpoints. Authenticity can be right where you're at, even if it's not life affirming. It can still be authentic. But once you actually see where you're at, you can ask, is that working for me? And that's what attunes us to integrity and aliveness and matures each soul in the direction. It's layers of the onion. As we become honest, there's so many levels of authenticity to be found. But let's see where these beautiful DMs are at, or what is the cutting edge honesty on the planet for these incredible divine masculines. What do the feminines need to know about the energetics of this honesty coming in? Kindness and tact coming forward here. What is the instruction or useful information for the feminines to keep in mind about what we're going to see here? So I've got the After Tarot for what's coming up. I've got the Hermetic Tarot for what the masculines would say. I've got the Starseed Oracle for how the feminines can interpret, and then some instructions. So let's see, what are the masculines thinking about these connections? Something of the devil energies have been overcome. They feel like you've tamed their heart. They didn't say sacral chakra. They want to point out that you have not tamed their sacral chakra, but you have tamed their heart. And that is a flirting. They're saying that in a flirtatious way. So yeah, feminines though, you've been that one who's always had their back, no matter what. They see that, the loyalty. You have taught them what true loyalty is like. You've asked for nothing in return. You've really come into balance, divine feminines, and your masculines are these big kitties, just adoring that there's someone like you out there. What would they say? I sometimes wonder if you care. So tough love, I'm hearing. You know, it's interesting because you haven't necessarily overwhelmed them with this being a personal thing, but you have done your best. This is something of the perfect mirror. So masculines, when you're wondering if your feminine cares, literally, if this is your divine feminine, they may have done things that were counterintuitive, but really ask yourself, what energy were you throwing at the time? What were you putting out there, masculines, that got those particular responses? Trace it back to, what did you say or do right before your feminine did something that was questionable in your mind? Anything that you thought they might have done that was callous or insensitive or, you know, opposite of the results you were looking for? How honest were you, masculines, when you said or did whatever happened right before your feminine mirrored your energy? So your divine feminine is going to be your perfect mirror. And so, you know, even though they have had your back in the ways that you have consciously seen, they've also done things in a very honest way with the context, the set and setting that you offered them. If you've been indirect, they may have been indirect as a response. If you said certain things that were masking or opposite of what you actually wanted in your heart, but you allowed yourself to say things that were tests, your feminine would have mirrored back what you were putting out there, not necessarily what you in your heart hoped for. Your feminine has been a conscious mirror every step of the way and has sort of been like hands off. If that's where you're at, that's where you will stay until you come through that, masculine. And so when you've wondered if your feminine has cared, it is literally because they have not wanted to carry your karma, have not wanted to spell it out for you and tell you. They've wanted you, or sometimes divine gag order. And that's actually more it than anything, because, you know, we're used to karmic situations where the counterpart tells the other one which way is up in no uncertain terms. In these divine connections, a lot of times the feminines and the masculines have had the divine gag order when questionable things come up in the energy. Let's say growth opportunities come up in the energy. One or the other has been told intuitively not to react in certain ways. And, you know, sometimes it even skips the mind to react in ways that they have reacted in karmic situations of the past. So, yeah, masculines, energetically, even though it's counterintuitive, your feminine has always had your back. And this is a great reveal, feminines, for your masculine at this time, to sort through the times where they know you've had their back, but then there's this counterintuitive stuff. So the key here is that there has been a deeply accountable energy where masculines are being corrected with whatever they throw out there. The feminine's going to respond in kind. So masculines, cut out sarcasm, you know, cut out any kind of condescending energy, any kind of fear, any kind of testing. If you put that out there, your feminine is just simply going to reflect back to you what you've put out there, not necessarily what you want. Yeah. So masculines, in the energy, you're getting through this layer where you're understanding how you've self-sabotaged. What do the feminines need to know? Seal of clairsentience, clarity, knowledge, channeling, and unification. When the masculines see this about how they've been convoluted and bringing drama or things into the connection by setting it up this way, suddenly this clarity comes in and unification is imminent, because there's no more sloppiness or insincerity. There's more honesty, direct communication. So masculines, when you don't have honest communication in some way, it actually prevents union, and it looks like your feminine doesn't care, but it goes both ways. So feminines, yes, pay attention to this for you, but also masculines, this is a big eye opener in how you can't go around testing people in these sort of reverse psychological ways and expecting with divine counterparts to get this infallible truth. Yes, sometimes you will, but you're also going to have to be accountable for the times that you don't need to be sloppy in the energy. What is the advice for the feminines? Ace of Pentacles. This is a brand new level of interaction coming in. This is actually that New Year's Day energy, but this is a prosperous new beginning in the physical where there's some clarity coming in for the masculines, seeing how they've self-sabotaged, but more clearly how they have, when they haven't been honest, you have reflected back that degree of honesty or not, with the results that they receive in exchange for their degree of honesty. Okay, what can we see for how the masculines are thinking of the feminines? So yeah, because there's this flip-flop between mastery and wondering if you care in a personal way for them, there is a little bit of skepticism about whether or not you're this high priestess. There's something that when they are vague or dishonest, even by omission, or haven't found their deepest truth, that they see you as not being in your deepest truth. And that does stand to reason. So masculines, if you act too quickly or without careful consideration of honest truth, you're going to get this reflection back from your feminine that is not this knowing, this confidence, this assurance. They're going to question. If you're questioning, they'll question. What would they say? I can't even look at you right now. I'm feeling shame in this card. I'm feeling that the masculines are pretty busy, but they're also sorting out these kinds of awakening energies with how they have prematurely said and done things that weren't as thought out in this growing maturity that they are beginning to tap into. What do the feminines need to know? Spiritual sovereignty, astral travel, and timelessness. So these connections are timeless, but wherever possible, be as honest with yourself. So just because the masculines have put out some energy and then you've maybe mirrored back what they've put out instead of, you know, that true care and bravery and unconditional love that you would have ideally liked to put out, you've got to forgive yourself and your masculine and remember that you are spiritually sovereign. So when a masculine says something to you, don't just tell them what they want to hear. Stand up for yourself, tell your truth. That doesn't mean be defensive and argumentative, but it really means say your honest take on things. Be clear. And what is the advice for the feminines? 10 of Pentacles. Only you are responsible for your long-term success. And so you have to remember it's not just about mirroring your masculine. It's definitely about holding your own and contributing your honest side of the energy. Because the masculines are sensitive to this, but it is sort of a ricochet in the energy where feminines, you've also said and done things that were based on, let's say, past experiences that weren't actually applicable with this person. And then you've gotten some results based on adding fear in the mix from the filter that you've carried. So it does go both ways. We are coming to more of a personally honest energy when interacting. So yes, this is a new way coming in where standing the test of time, I just heard, where people can communicate more from their truth with less to fear, with less to lose. There's a bigger balance coming in. What is on the heart space for the masculines? They are seeing you as having changed. They're not as easily reading your energy because you are starting to speak your truth, this higher ascended truth. There's a butterfly on that card. So they're feeling that your communication style has changed with them. I heard that you are calling them out on it, they feel. So this is a new level of I wonder if you care sometimes, because you haven't done that in the past. So now, because you are being more assertive, whole with what you're sharing, but not in a karmic way, you're just being genuine, authentic, honest. Your masculine is starting to see you as head over heart in some ways. What would they say about this? Wrongful advice. So somebody told them that you were a pushover. It's like they got it wrong. Masculines pegged you for a weak energy at some points because you did mirror some of the lessons they needed to receive. You were divinely guided to behave and speak or not take action or not respond in certain ways. That time is over, where the feminines are coming out more confidently with their truth. I'm hearing divine guidance saying that the veil has been lifted from the counterparts, so that now those kinds of energetic lessons and divine gag orders are over. If you've been watching my readings for the last couple of years, and I know some of you have been, I've talked about things called divine gag orders, when one or the other is not permitted, either through amnesia or flat out silenced, knowing they are not supposed to respond to a certain thing or in a certain way. And so that's being removed, and the real counterparts are being seen more and more. Like that communication was slowed between the counterparts, so each could learn to process in their own sovereign way instead of hashing things out with the person. Because when we do that, that's like making the other person responsible for our happiness. When we're on this journey of mastery, we're not allowed to hash this stuff out with the person. We have to go into our own corners and go to the divine for our own wisdom, our own understanding, our own lessons. And so it's like we've been on either side of the arena, and now we're coming back in as new versions of self. What do the feminines need to know? Yeah, Starseed Awakening, Cosmic Heritage, Galactic Remembrance, 22. So this is the up-leveling. This is like the Fool, but a cosmic new beginning. This is taking things to the next level. And so this is rising above those men are from Mars, women are from Venus kind of discrepancies, and now person to person, the honest presentation of who each are. What is the advice for the feminine? This is the heart-centered. So 5 of Wands. This is not only just letting go of things that have happened in the past, but extra fluffy energies, things that are things that you would communicate to your masculine that are neither here nor there. So this is like streamlining what really matters. And so your communication is becoming crystal clear and first person. This process is helping both counterparts refine their communication, take it to the next level. Masculines are no longer taking advice over their own knowing. And same with feminines. Feminines are no longer saying things that aren't actually authentic. It's a work in progress, but there is a movement here towards that as a complete way of life. An honest, kind, tact, genuine. What are the masculines feeling on the heart space for their feminine? They're actually throwing out the expectations and failures and assumptions about what this could have been in the past, whatever kind of box they put it in. What even the most beautiful visions they could have held in the past. They're dumping that out and starting fresh. They don't want to try and create or recreate what they thought was possible in the past, or even what they hoped was possible. They want to just be straightforward on their heart space. They want to start fresh with this friendship. 4 of Cups, dumping that one out and focusing on the friendship. They want to get to know you, not what they think you are, not with an agenda, not with limerence. The masculines also just want to start, like, dump that moldy cup of love from the past out and really see who each of you are, and start to negotiate honest, clear communication with each other. It's like they're being given this opportunity to start fresh. What would they say? My life started when I met you in the inverse, and what I'm feeling now is, yeah, sort of, but it was still convoluted. And so that first start that they're dumping out here, they actually weren't as conscious. It was like slammed into each other in the energy, but now they're awakened to that contribution that they bring to the table, the direct, honest investment, rather than the testing or the insecurity or the worthiness issues that were filtered, or that this connection was filtered through. They want to start it for real through their new, more mature mode. What do the feminines need to know? Joy, playfulness, and pleasure. So yes, we've gotten this card a few times for the feminines, or for 2023, about this having been the year of being responsible for our own happiness. That also means for our own well-being, and not having to go to that other person for our solace, but going to our connection to source, and then getting to enjoy the alignment with a partner instead of having a power hierarchy or a codependency. We've had to learn how to do it in ourselves so that we can experience less guarded, I heard pretentious energy with each other, fearful. So this is all to bring in joy on a new level, feminines. On the heart space, you should start to be feeling more aligned, more comfortable, more confident, more assured that things are good, that things are turning out better than you imagined, that there is a lightening in the energy. Yeah, justice is here on the table. It's not quite in the upright fully. It's because these friendships need to deepen, that the actual, fresh eyes, beginner's eyes need to be opened to this connection. Humans are creatures of habit, I just heard, and when something happens, we hang on to it until we can process that level, but there's a renewal coming in these connections. There are second chances coming in where we can take a good, honest look at what didn't work in the past. And that's, now that we've found the keys to sorting and solving things independently, integrating in periods of separation, heating and cooling in these connections, we can now apply that strategy together, because we've now each learned it in solitude. And now, instead of spinning our wheels and hashing it out in a karmic way, we each have skills to bring together to bounce off of each other and have productive communication in the face of adversity, honest communication where it's not so much finger pointing, blame, victim about the other. We've got more clarity in how to manage our stress in new situations and with changes. Whoa, big, clear messages today. What can we see for the masculines wishing to manifest? Yeah, they don't want sloppy communication or arguing or trouble. They want to make sure the coast is clear and that communication can be aligned, and really that having each other's back, the loyalty coming in. So they want that more than anything, but what would they say to us? I'm ready, in the reverse. So they're almost ready to have some conversations. They're almost ready to communicate clearly with this fresh start. So that also speaks of the New Year's Day, they're still processing, like you feminines, what they're going to say, how they're going to come forward. 2024 is a brand new year. What do the feminines need to know? Angelic assistance, truth, salvation, majesty. You will have a redemption of sorts. You will know the truth. Oh, I just heard pray for it. Pray to know the truth about the connection you're watching this for. Go into meditation, learn how to connect with Source, and sincerely, earnestly pray to know what it is. Pray to know how to focus on what really matters, or to release if things are actually not aligned. But this is really like, always ask for the honest truth. Always ask higher guidance to show you the deepest of truths and meaning with whatever you are connecting with. What is the advice for the feminines? The time is now. Invest in self. Invest in your life as a garden. This is a gardening card, and in the inverted like this is about doing the maintenance, the pruning, the weeding, the fertilizing, the watering, the sunshine, the consciousness, and allowing that to be part of your daily routine maintenance. Is there anything feeling wobbly? Ask for clarity, ask for understanding in your own right, because as you come into union, if you don't have that skill, you'll still be codependent on your person and demanding answers, forgiveness, explanations, proof from them. If you know it first person, you can just get down to good fun with your person. What are the actions the masculines are taking right now? They are starting to focus on this friendship here and let go of past failures in the name of chalking it up to learning. They are integrating the lessons. They are in deep meditation, aha moments. Mercury retrograde, Jupiter retrograde is all bringing this stuff to mind, and they are starting to feel more of a smooth energy about that. What would they say to the feminines? You have so many choices and options. They are beginning to see that their lessons and their becoming is so tailor-made to someone like you being their dream person. It's like a lot of things are adding up, connecting dots, and seeing how you've stood the test of time, the way that you have had their back, and the lessons where they felt unsupported were really where they were unnecessarily reaching to you or blaming you for not being there when really they needed to get it within themselves. It was their karma, their karmic imprinting. And so they used to project that you had other options. They used to think that you were going to leave them or that they were going to leave you. There was a hierarchy, an imbalance there. Those things don't matter anymore. Now they are beginning to see how perfect you are despite any differences, despite them feeling like they didn't have the answers. They now know that this journey is bringing you into more alignment, and something they're witnessing, you just can't make it up. When they're very honest, you two are coming closer and closer together. The more healed, the more they release their past, the more it's just sliding in there. What do the feminines need to know? Seal of fulfilled transformation, alchemy, metamorphosis, and karmic completion. So this other people being potential threats goes away when karma is cleared, feminines. So we only have other options and choices, or they only have other options and choices when there's still karma to learn. When you have finalized your relationship karma and you know who you are and what you're a match for and what would be relevant and appreciated most deeply, genuinely, where you're not running on fear because you've exhausted those lessons and you've brought back the wisdom, the karma is completed. other options don't apply anymore. That's the only way you can actually be monogamous, is if you go through the karma and you trace those triggers and temptations and threats, and you learn how to read energy so that you no longer need to get the wisdom from those kinds of imbalanced scenarios. When you don't need the lessons anymore because you've learned them, you don't manifest them into your reality, and other options cease to be there because you don't need contrast anymore, because you've already come into your honest truth. And it's not so much, then what if somebody else betrays me and hurts me? You won't engage in a relationship with somebody who's going to do that. If you know yourself and what works for you, you will see the red flags and you won't go forward or go forward prematurely. But when you haven't cleared your karma, you might be wondering if you should go this way and that, and not really having any grounding or foundation to your choices. What's the advice for the feminines? Knight of Wands, passion. This is where true intimacy can ignite, I just heard. Because when the karma is completed, you don't have those extra external energies pulling on you, or your masculine doesn't have those other considerations. You are undistracted, unbothered by anything outside the connection, and it can be streamlined and channeled and heightened. What can we see for the challenge the masculines have right now? Well, the Lovers, here's the angels again, this truth. It's like they are being presented in the energy. I just heard a truce, this return, the opportunity to completely let go of all of those things, the Four of Cups, and this mourning, this grieving, the Five of Cups. Let go of all of it. The challenge is the masculine's awakening to this realization. They don't have to take the past forward in an unnecessary way. They can utilize those lessons for support, but they don't have to fear a repeat of history. They can just simply elevate. Sex with you. So part of the challenge is that some are feeling such a pull, but it's premature because the balance hasn't come in, and some are confused as to why it doesn't feel quite right yet, why it might feel like this kind of otherworldly purity. Masculines, this is a developmental stage right now, and you are aligning with that friendship, and so you might not be getting the green light to go ahead with the sexual connection. That might be the challenge right now, is that is counterintuitive compared to other connections, or the impatience and really wanting to rush it. There is a need to continue with the knowledge of good and evil, like just continue with the wisdom teachings that are coming through right now. I'm hearing again, Mercury and Jupiter in retrograde are bringing to highlight a lot of the things from the past right now that are showing these aha moments. And so this is coming soon enough, masculines, but it's time just really to keep with the reveal of the inner workings of why you don't want things to repeat from the past, and open to grander understanding coming in about what's possible going forward. 3333. Mastery, accountability, and acceptance. So it is kind of acclimating into this acceptance of the mastery. There is a pause in the sacral chakra here that is making it manageable to have a more conscious integration of what has happened so far with this connection and with karmic scenarios. There's a few sort of ethereal sort of parables trying to come in, and they were too sort of vague for me to grasp onto just there. So I think because we are all coming into mastery, that there are going to be parables or examples in each person's journey that is so unique to your journey that it's almost a spoiler if I bring through an energy, but it's like handing the torch to everybody that's watching these videos, that you have the ability to really first person be grateful for why the sexual connection is balancing out for you right now, and what opportunity, what honest integration you can take from this period of time right now as we prepare to go into the new year. And we're kind of going through this integration phase right now. What is the advice? Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so this is beautiful because this is the inner nurture on our own. This is the deep wholeness, the good on our own energy that we're all being asked to anchor right now before rushing into the intimacy. This is really getting bearings, settling in. This is a card of home, so it can be about living situations and really making a house a home, getting the creature comforts in place. And it can be a mother card, so this can be a parenting card. This can be conception for some, but I'm mostly seeing that this is taking care of children and happy, healthy home energy right now, making decisions about homes, really taking care of the loose ends I'm hearing, balancing things out, making sure that you're taking care of number one. Feminines, what is the solution? Okay, keep an open mind. Masculines, look at, here's this playful stuff, but not everything has been seen yet. This apple hasn't been fully eaten. And so there is still an exploration phase here, gathering information about what is honestly there, who each honestly are. Okay, words do hurt. So there's sincerity and honesty coming in. There's a caution right now to not say things you don't mean, even more so than usual. It's like with Mercury retrograde, it's just things can get fubbled, whatever. And so right now you don't see the whole picture. It's a really good advice right now to be genuine, sincere, and as honest as possible. Don't try and be a smart ass right now, because especially over messages, because it's not going to be taken clearly and you may not understand what everybody's processing right now. So the advice is just sort of keep communication to the minimal unless you feel like you need to communicate about certain things. It's kind of like I just heard a silent retreat if you can for the next little while. That doesn't mean withhold or not respond if somebody reaches out or you genuinely feel to say something to someone. Keep it to a minimal. It's like minimalist externally right now, and just making sure that everything is as clear and genuine as possible. But don't beat yourself up if that doesn't happen because of the retrograde. What is the advice for the feminines? Spine of fire, true self-passion, motivation, and purpose. This is time to really buckle down on your purpose, your alignment, and don't get off track, out of alignment right now. Focus on self, on your true self, and just kind of forgive everything right now that might not be easy to fit in a box. Don't think too hard right now, feminines. Just take care of what you're being shown you need to do. Advice, go to the high priest. Don't try and figure out the world right now. Just keep running your questions or wisdom or insight through and getting these higher keys from your connection to source right now. Let your counterpart sort through their lessons regarding these past experiences when they've said and done things that weren't necessarily getting them the results that they were hoping for. Like with reverse psychology, they need to sort that right now. So especially with Mercury retrograde, if you have too many conversations in the next little while, it might get messy. It might add insult to injury. So there is sort of this mastery and accountability coming in where everybody is sort of mental note to self. I need to be more sincere and honest and authentic with how I communicate. So that is actually such a beautiful, poignant message. What is the direction in the next couple of weeks? Yeah, getting over this abandonment wound. This is the original separation wound, the existential crisis, the feeling forsaken from the divine, but also the abandonment stuff in these connections. So everybody is healing themselves on a deep, deep level. I want to start a family with you. So after this last sort of push in the energy brings us each more into personal accountability and mastery, there is this new hope coming, grounding of these real available timelines where we blend families, start families, live together, but we have to be whole on our own first, and then this joint effort can be brought into highlight. So yeah, that's going to be really nice. What do the feminines need to know about the energy? Seal of harmonic order, harmony, cooperation, dynamic interaction. When we have insecurity and fear, it sets up an instability waveform. If we're mirroring that with our counterpart, it is disharmonic when we try to come together. It's like nails on a chalkboard. When we're whole in ourselves and they're whole in themselves, it's a harmonic thing. And it comes together in perfect harmony. And so, yes, we do have to keep working out these lower vibrational concerns so that we can focus on this honest truth and get to the fun part, get to the joyful part, so we can follow our bliss together without being, petty or squabbling or distracted or leaking energy or, those insecure attachments. Advice, telepathic encouragement right now. Everybody is, I'm hearing, fatigued. It has been a freaking journey and we are coming to the finish line. I just heard we're coming home, everybody. And so, just, encourage. This is like you're running a marathon and you're yelling out, "You've got this. I've got this. I'm good. Drink water." Okay. Many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.